right, we're going live. Hello, welcome everyone to the live. Thank you for dropping by. Today we're going to be talking about tamping, about puck prep, and about how important that is for pulling the perfect shot. Hello, welcome. So good seeing you all coming in here. Say yummy. Yummy. Got the bell here, we can get some coffee ups going a bit later on. So we're just going to take a minute just to let you all join in here and then we'll get into it. So first off, we're doing a live. I just want to say thank you for Sunbeam for helping us put this on. They've been great. They've got me this Sunbeam Cafe Series Duo and the matching grinder that goes alongside here. So yeah, we're going to be putting on a series of lives over the coming months with them, with all the different steps about making the perfect espresso. So that's going to be awesome. And I'm really excited to be doing that with them. Coffee up. Welcome everyone. Where have we got everyone joining from today? We've got Australia, we've got Ireland, we've got the UK. So nice seeing everyone in there. Hi. We've got Turkey in the house. I got a fresh haircut. This is just for you, for everyone here joining. What do we think? Just all the greys going down the side, looking good. I'm not that old, just have grey hair, it's all right. Alrighty, so we've got a bunch of you in here. I think we can start. Yes, we've got Melbourne, Australia in the house. Thank you so much. So today we're going to be talking about tamping, we're going to be talking about puck prep and all the steps you need to do to make the perfect shot of coffee. We've got Nazim Hussein in the house. When are you coming over for the coffee lesson? We can do this in person. So yeah, the first thing that we're going to be looking at when you're tamping, what you want to avoid is you want to avoid channeling. And what channeling is when you have little air pockets, little cracks, little lines throughout your coffee grounds, and the water is going to find its way quickly through that rather than running through all of your coffee that you have. So you want to avoid the channeling. And channeling is weird because it gives you bitter and sour notes in your coffee because you're getting under-extracted and you're getting over-extracted. Because it's going to over-extract where it's running through quickly and it's going to under-extract in the other areas. So you get a really unbalanced, terrible cup, and that's why tamping and doing all the puck prep is super important in what you're doing there. So you want to avoid channeling, and you also want it to be level. You want it to be flat so that it evenly runs through your coffee grounds and you're going to get the best extraction for your coffee. So a little tip that can make it really easy to understand what's happening is grind your coffee into a glass like this. And when you grind your coffee into a glass like this, what you're going to do is, I don't know if you can see here, but do it at home. You can see all the little air pockets, all these little holes of air, and that's where you're going to get cracks, where water's going to run through too quickly. And you can really get a clear idea of how many air pockets there are when you grind. So that's one thing that you're going to want to look out for there. And what you can do is also as an experiment is grab your tamp and push down and you'll see those air pockets disappearing. And you can also look, are there still air pockets left inside this cup as you're doing it? So you can do that. Another thing is collapsing the grinds. Give it a tap on the side of the bench. Pop, pop. And you'll see that removes a lot of the air pockets. And then tamping down, you'll be able to see all those air pockets start to disappear. And so that'll give you an idea of how to get that even level bed when you're making a coffee. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, like in this live demo, is we're going to talk about the distribution of coffee inside your portafilter. So when you have your portafilter, this is called puck prep, you want to make sure that all of the coffee is spread out around the entire of your portafilter. Because if you have different levels, if you have a mound in the middle, it's not going to be flat, it's not going to be level. So let's do a little demo here and have a look. So we're just going to grind in and then we'll have a look and we'll see how it comes out when we're doing it. So you can see here we have a mound right in the middle. So if I was to go and tamp right now, it would look flat, it would look fine, it would look like it's all pressed down, but in reality there's going to be more coffee compacted in the center and less coffee around the outside here. And this is what I call a donut extraction. So what's going to happen is coffee is going to run really quickly on the outside of the puck, and it's going to run really slow on the middle. So you're going to have that under and over extracted again, which is just going to taste no good. So there are two things you can do here. The first one, we're about to get really technical, so you want to pay attention. This is a really technical technique that I call the Judo Chop. So you just give it a pop, pop, whack on the side there, whack on the middle, back and forth, and then you get that evenly distributed coffee all throughout your portafilter there, which is what you're going for. Another thing you're going to do is this machine comes with this little dosing funnel that you grind into. Not only does it help you from not being messy when you're grinding, but you can also just grab it and give it a little shake back and forth to kind of get that evenly distributed grounds there like that. So that's the first thing, is getting that level bed so the water runs through evenly. The next thing that we're going to look at... Oh yeah. Do we have any questions as we're doing this along the way? I've just got my great cameraman here telling me how to be a better host. So thank you, Sonan, for that. I appreciate it. Do you have any questions before we move on to the tamping side of things? What have we got up here? We've got coffee up in there. How much time for a double shot? How much time for a double shot? You want to be looking at about 25 to 30 seconds in that range. But time is going to be the least important thing, I would say, out of all those variables of coffee put in and yield of the coffee. But you want to be in that range. How far in advance can I grind my beans? Look, it depends. If you don't have a grinder, pre-ground coffee is a great option, but the quality of the beans will start deteriorating as they go along. So it's always best to have your own grinder in-house, grind fresh. You're going to get the best results if you do it at the same time as you're making your coffee. Thank you for all your insights and tips. You are so welcome. Do you recommend a WDT tool or anything before the tamp? Look, I think all that stuff can be really important. Do we have one here? I think what I'm teaching today is the basics, which is going to make you a really good cup of coffee, but then you can start to evolve, learn, see what you need. I think the WDT tool can be great for breaking up clumps, which again is going to stop channeling. It's going to stop you from having air pockets when you're in there. But I think all the tips that I'm teaching you today, just with owning a tamp, is going to get you a great result 90% of the time. If you want to improve it that little bit, there are all those little elements that you can adjust with. Do I lift? I do, of course. How much coffee should be in the portafilter? Distance from the top, do you eyeball it? You can weigh it out. It depends on your basket. A lot of machines will have that kind of 18 gram to 19 gram range. So that'll be a double shot. But yeah, if you just are eyeballing it, you kind of just want that little bit from the top, because if you have too much space, you're going to get a really wet and watery puck. And if you're too close, it's going to hit the shower screen. So you just want, that 0.5 centimeter kind of gap on the top there. Yep, double shot 23 grams is okay, but that's going to be on a commercial machine with a 23 gram basket. It really depends on what basket and what machine you have. So for this machine, I'd be going in that 18 grams kind of range, and then you want to be getting 36 grams of coffee out. So 1 to 2 for espresso, and that's the double basket there. So the next thing that we're going to be moving on to now and talking about is tamping. And so this is one of those things that there's so much debate out there about how hard do you tamp? Do you tap it on the side? How do you do it? So let's break down a few of those things and just keep it really simple. How hard do you tamp? People say stuff like, oh, you're going to want to tamp with 10 kilograms of pressure or this or that. But unless you have a scale on the side of the bench, I think it's pretty outrageous to assume that. I can break it down really simply. When you're tamping down, you're removing all of the air and all those air pockets from the ground. So you just need to push hard enough until you stop that. If you under tamp, you're going to have all the air pockets there. You're going to get a badly extracted coffee. So all you have to do is make sure that you tamp hard enough to knock out those pockets. So I would say when you're tamping and when you're feeling it, you need to push hard enough down until you have complete resistance. There's no movement. You can't feel any movement as you're pushing down. And that's how hard you need to tamp. I think it's just as simple as that, because once you remove the air, you're golden. You're golden brown. So one thing that's really cool with Sunbeam's Cafe Series Duo with this machine, I don't understand why every machine doesn't have this. Look at this. They've got a little rubber thing on the edge of the portafilter, so you don't need a big bulky mat in your house. You can just put it on the side of the bench and do that. Perfect. A small apartment living. That is exactly what I need. So I think that is a great little addition there that just every portafilter should have in every cafe everywhere. And the other thing that you have here is you have a 48 millimeter basket. So this is going to be 58 millimeter basket. Sorry, I'm bad with maths. That is the same as the cafe industry standard. So all of your tamps are going to fit inside this basket. If you want to buy any of those additional tools, this is the same as what you're getting in a cafe. So it's great. And the other thing with the 58 millimeter basket is it's wide enough that you're getting that nice extraction. It's not those narrow baskets where it's creating a fake pressure. You're going to get different extraction levels because it's so deep. You want this nice, thin, but wide bed when you're making coffee. So let's get into tamping and the different techniques of tamping. So I'll get my hand to come in and we'll get nice and close so that we can see. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is, again, this is another tip that is going to help you remove air pockets. Just give it a good whack on the side like that. Bang. And that is going to, again, collapse the grounds, remove the air pockets, and give you an even extraction. Then you want to come in with your tamp. So this is how I tamp. Thumb and pinky on the side, index and thumb, on the side of it here, not pinky. And then you want to place it in, making sure that you're as level as possible. And then can we pull out a little bit here? You want to keep a right angled kind of arm like this. And you want to make sure, the reason you do this is it allows you to push down and you can lean in with your body rather than pushing down with your wrist. When you push down just with your wrist, you're going to you can hurt your wrist, especially if you're making a lot of coffee. So you want to arm out like that and you want to lean in and make sure that it's nicely pressed down. And then this is a little tip I do, because you want to look at it and you might come in and be like, oh, I mean, I was going to say it's not level, but that's actually perfectly level. So there's the problem there. But let's say you looked at it and it wasn't level. You didn't have a perfectly level tamp there. What you'd need to do is when you're here, I just put my index out and my thumb out over the side and just give it a little movement, and you can actually feel, oh, it's not level there. You can feel which side isn't level. So you can kind of give it a little adjustment, do that, pull up, and there you have a completely level coffee bed. You can see we're completely flat on top. We've collapsed all the ground so we can assume that there's no channeling, no holes going on through that. And yeah, that is basically all the steps to kind of get to here. So this is where, let's start talking about a few no-nos. So we can probably jump back here to the full view. Once you get to this stage, you've done all the hard work to make sure that you have a perfectly level bed. So you want to be gentle. Just be gentle with your portafilter. From finishing tamping, you just want to go straight to the machine and you want to be gentle and put it in. Any disruption to your bed is going to cause holes, it's going to cause channeling. There's going to be a lot of problems if you kind of get into that range. A lot of things I see in a cafe, this one makes me sick almost when it happens, is after they've tamped, seeing the barista whack the portafilter on the side, trying to get the coffee grounds falling in, when they go tap, tap, tap. All you're doing there is just destroying all that hard work you've done and breaking up the coffee, creating channels, and just ruining all that hard work. So you want to tamp down, finish, and also when you're getting into the machine, don't be whacking it around and moving really quickly. You just want to be gentle. You want to put it in and get it in like that, and you're done. And then we can probably come in here for just a quick little sign of the extraction. So I've got the Cafe Series Duo here, and I'm going to pull a manual shot so that we can see. So that just allows me to choose the amount of time that it extracts for as we're doing it. And you can see you've got a nice thin stream at the start, which is exactly what you're after when you're extracting here. You can see this little dial at the top kind of helps with your tamping, and it shows you when you're going into the optimum zone. So you can see here that we're right in the optimum zone of extracting. So that means we've done a really good job with tamping, with making sure all of our grounds are distributed. So pull that off here. And there we have a beautifully extracted cup of coffee. It tastes great. And I think we all know that at the end of that, you just have to give it a solid coffee up. So that is basically all of the steps for tamping, for puck prep, for making sure that you kind of have a really even bed. Do we have any questions? Do we have anything that we want to know further about tamping? I'd be happy to answer anything here, or just anything just in general coffee related that you want to talk about. If you have any questions about the machine, we can go into that as well. I'd love to hear from all of you and continue to drink my coffee. What is that espresso machine, or what is the best at home espresso machine? This is the Cafe Series Duo, and it comes with the Cafe Series grinder that matches here on the side. These are the great machine, which we'll do it in one of the next slides. We'll be talking about steam pressure, but you just saw there that we pulled a great shot, and then the steam pressure on this thing is great, so I really enjoy that. The other thing that it has here is these gauges that tells you when you're in the optimum zone for extracting, and also milk temperature. It has a thermometer, so when you're steaming, it tells you when it's at the right temperature. So I think that's great. I think these machines here are right in that perfect range of great value for money for getting that kind of next level cafe quality when you're at home. There are some other cheaper machines out there that aren't quite getting there. This machine, because it has dual thermoblock, it has heating for both your extraction and your steaming. You can extract and steam at the same time. So it works out really well like that. Puck screens, yeah, again, puck screens are one of those things that you can add in. The thoughts there being that it's going to distribute the water. So a puck screen, you put it on top of your ground coffee at the end. Again, if you're at home just making coffees every day, I don't think it's that you maybe necessarily need it, but if you're really into like the nuances of the coffee and getting out every single element of it, yeah, it can be something that you're going to enjoy, but it's not going to improve your coffee a million times over. It's all little tiny increments when you're looking at that kind of thing. My puck sticks to the shower screen. Why? You're probably overdosing your coffee. So if you're overdosing your coffee, it's going to stick to the puck screen and it will just get jammed up there. So go a lower dose, but then maybe grind finer if you're worried about getting the right extraction. So work out how many grams should be in for your portafilter and then go to that. Normally, if it's a double, it's probably in that 18 gram range. If you have a tamp with no handle, is it okay to tamp down with your whole palm? Yep, I mean, I've seen those tamps in there. If you want to do it, you can just tamp down with your whole palm. I'd do a similar kind of thing where I'm getting that right angle and pushing down, leaning in with the body. You just don't want to overextend and hurt your wrists, especially if you're making a lot. You're probably less likely to hurt yourself if you're just making it at home. If you're in a cafe, it's a different story when you're making thousands of coffee a day. Any chance you'll ever sell in the US? Yes, we're just currently setting up sales in the US, so that should be live by the end of the year. Why does my Tamper give an uneven press? Like it has dents in the group head. I use an automatic tamper if that helps. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Does it have little holes? Sometimes there are different tamps that have rings or holes because they want the water to flow evenly to those areas. So maybe it's designed to do that. I have a pressure basket in my SB Mini Barista. This will still make a good shot. So pressure baskets are if you're using pre-ground coffee, and that's going to help create a bit more pressure and give you a crema. If you buy pre-ground from a cafe, you can say to them, grind it fine enough for espresso and just use your regular basket, and then you'll probably get a better result. Without adding sugar, I can't make latte art. Give me any solutions, please. Without adding sugar, I don't know how that changes. Maybe give your shot a swirl, break up the crema beforehand. Sometimes beans like Robusta get like a thicker crema. They're a bit kind of lumpier. So really give your shot a swirl to make sure that that crema is broken up. How long can you have the portafilter outside the group head before it starts to cool down and lose heat? Look, I think you've probably got a little bit of time as you do that. You've probably got a couple minutes in there. You just don't want to be starting with an ice cold basket is one of the biggest points. Hopefully you're getting most of the temperature from the water that's coming out of the machine. Bastiano says, how are you so handsome? It's just the haircut. It's just the fresh haircut that does that. So it's a great question that you asked there, but I'm really glad you asked that. Most people say tamping twist is wrong, but you did the twist. The tamping twist is wrong thing. What all they're trying to say is don't disrupt the coffee beans and the coffee beds as much as possible. I wasn't giving it the old big polish. I was just putting my fingers out, and I wasn't pressing down either. When you do the checking if you're level, just put your fingers out and just do this. Don't push down and twist. You just want to kind of do it on the top. So I think everyone with the whole twisting thing is getting a bit overboard. Basically, the point is don't disrupt the coffee bed as much as possible once you've done all the hard work. I really enjoy your espresso blend. Oh, thank you so much, Taylor. Yeah, we love it as well. It's just that kind of classic chocolatey coffee, works great on home machines and is amazing with milk. It's like that Cocoa Pops kind of milk coffee thing that we really love here. Will you bring out more flavors of coffee? Yes, we've got a new one coming out called the Sun Dancer, which is bright and fruity and got some berries. It's super yummy. So it kind of, we've brought it out to be kind of the counterpoint to our signature blend. Our signature blend is chocolatey, it's syrupy, it's yum, and then the other one's going to be brighter and fruitier, which is really yummy. Thanks for all the advice. No worries, you're welcome. How to do a wing tulip video, please. I have one in the feed, but it's probably time to do another one. That's really helpful, thanks. Hi, big fan. I'm a big fan of you. Do you run courses in Melbourne? I don't run any courses in Melbourne yet, but hopefully soon we'll look into kind of doing that. Once we have a space, that'll be easy to do. Why my milk doesn't start to colour milk? Why when I turn latte out is the coffee too light brown in colour? Maybe try a darker roast of coffee, or maybe you need to work on the extraction with all the tips we did for tamping today. Please on the US. Amazing. Do you have any questions here on the side? Any tips on making milk frothy and foamy when using an espresso milk frother? I haven't used one of those before. I find the easiest way to get the best milk is just using an espresso machine like this that has a steam wand. You're going to need that pressure, and you're going to need the pressure to kind of spin it and make sure that it's silky. We're actually going to be doing a live in a couple of weeks again with Sunbeam, where I'm going to be going through about how to make the silkiest milk ever. We'll probably look at how to pour. We can even look at different alternative milks and that kind of thing, because there are slightly different tips when you're doing that. So we can dive into all of those things there. How long should you wait to start extraction once you're locked in? It kind of depends on the coffee machine that you're using. Some are going to have a pre-infusion, which is when there's less pressure at the start, which just gets the grounds wet. But you know, it could be anywhere from that kind of 5 to 10 second range before you start seeing that coffee stream start coming down. I don't think those things are as important as how much coffee you put in versus how much you get out in a time frame. So on this machine, if you're putting in 18 grams of coffee, you want to be getting 36 grams out in that 25 to 30 second window. And then, you know, some people have this, it has to be 27 seconds. All you have to do is taste it and kind of analyze what you're getting there. Are you happy with the coffee? If you want it to be sweeter, maybe go a little coarser. If it's tasting too bitter, it might be a bit too fine. So there's all those little adjustments that you can kind of, and I spilled coffee on the floor. Coffee down. Coffee down. All those little adjustments that you can make there that are going to help. What coffee machine is that behind you? Again, this is the Cafe Series Duo and the Cafe Series Grinder that we have on the side here. This was supplied to me from Sunbeam, who we're partnering with in this live today. So this is the machine we've been using, and we're going to go over all the tips over the coming months with this machine. We'll probably look at their Barista Max, which is another one of their home coffee machines. That one actually has the built-in grinder. So if you have a smaller kitchen, if you're starting out, it's one of those great machines where it kind of just does everything for you. So yeah, we'll be diving into all the ways to get the best kind of coffee at home with those. I have just started getting into coffee, and so far I've been doing cold brews and French press. Any tips for a newbie? Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely do some videos on that and some reels, so I can give you some tips on that then. Any advice for throwdown beginners? Oh, I mean, a million bits of advice. But today I think we're going to stick to just talking about pulling in espresso at home. So do we have any other questions about dialing in, about tamping, about extraction? Happy to answer all of those, but I think we've done a pretty good job here. Coffee up. Again, I just want to say, as we're kind of winding down here and finishing up with the questions, thank you again for Sunbeam for helping us put this on. It's been really fun getting to do these, and I'm excited to do the next few kind of lives with you all and dive into those. So if you have any suggestions about what you'd like to see covered in this live, if there's anything I'm missing about how to make the perfect coffee at home, let me know, send me a message, drop a comment. I'd love to know everything that you want to know so I can help out as much as possible. Do you use a WDT? I do have a WDT. I only use it sometimes if I'm going into a special coffee, if I'm really trying to dial it in. But on a day-to-day, I think just the hand in the Tamp is going to get me everything that I need for a great cup of coffee. Everything that you get with this machine is going to get you a great cup of coffee. And then if you want to start experimenting, nerding out with distributors, WDT, there's a whole world out there of experimenting, which is lots of fun. What is a good entry-level barista scale? What would you recommend? I like having something that can fit the whole portafilter on, just so I can weigh the whole portafilter. So you can look at coffee websites and kind of find out what works best for you. How to make a hollow heart latte at fees. I don't know if I'm good enough to do that. A hollow heart latte art. They're pretty difficult, but maybe I can give it a try. All right, last question in here. Best coffee origin. There is no best coffee origin because all of the places now are getting better and better, and all of them have their own individual story, taste, styles. So that's why blends can be so great, just bringing in those different flavors. Like you might have a really fruity berry Ethiopian. If you love that kind of berry Ribena tasting coffee, then you might go into an Ethiopian. We've got a Brazil, which is chocolatey, nutty, really yum. So it really depends what you're looking for, and all coffee origins have a great story to tell. Your content is so helpful. Thank you. Steam on pressure, not the same on a commercial machine. No, the steam on pressure is lower, but what's great about that, so that's actually a great point, and this will be the last one that I finish up on here. So on any home machine, you're really not going to be getting the same amount of pressure as a commercial machine. But if you're a beginner, that is great news, because if you got on a commercial machine, those things are like rockets and the milk is just flying. You have about 5 seconds to adjust. These steam ones have enough pressure to give you perfectly textured milk, just as good, if not better than a cafe, but you have more time to adjust. There isn't as much pressure, so you can slowly move, you can find the right spot to create your whirlpool when you're trying to do it. So I actually have enjoyed learning on home machines, getting better at home machines, because I find it easy to learn and it's a great spot. So I think that's a really great thing. On these machines, I'm making milk just as good as any other cafe, and it's amazing where they've got machines up to at this point. So home coffee is really on another level right there. All right, perfect. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you again for Sunbeam. Thank you for the Cafe Series Duo. It's been a pleasure to work with. And I'll see you for the next live. Again, send me a message if you want to learn anything, if there's anything else that jumps out. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun, and we'll chat soon. See you everyone.